you're not gonna kill me, right? That'd be wrong. Very wrong.
Fable II is a 2008 action RPG developed by Lionhead Studios for the Xbox 360. The game is the second installment in the Fable game series, a sequel to 2004's Fable, though I came to Fable 2 first. The story takes place within the fictional land of Albion, where players assume the role of a young hero who's destined to stop a former ruler turned madman from destroying the world. Though you're more than free to roleplay your own character between main story missions, and it's one of the best RPGs made for this. Citizens react to everything you do or have done, what you wear, the side jobs you take on. You can even start a family if that tickles your fancy. Hell, start two, get blackmailed for being a polygamist. The world is your oyster. There's so much choice and nuance that one player's journey, even their available quests, may be different to another's. The world building and vocal delivery across the board is immense here, along with the typical British humour you'd see in other such fancy titles. The game is split across a few different time skips, and so I think it's best if we just dive into the story to see how this sweet child here became this wall of gristle. Expect spoilers and enjoy the ride.
Oh no! The love spell makes her fall in love with the first person she... You've got to go! Now!
The game starts off with this majestic operatic cutscene of a sparrow flying around and helping to establish what sort of setting we're in here. We're in something similar to the colonial era, though just as the sparrow lands, the music heightens to a fever pitch, all just to highlight the bird taking a dump on a child below. This is actually considered good luck here in England. With a non-verbal protagonist nicknamed Sparrow, we and our sister Rose live in squalor here, essentially dreaming that one day we'll be able to live in Fairfax Castle that looms over the city of Bowerstone. A commotion leads us into the town itself, and en route, the keen-eared of you may recognise a very prominent British actor's voice here.
Hello there, young Rose. You look hungry. Have you reconsidered my offer?
We'll never be that hungry. The answer is no.
It's Bricktop.
Do you know what nemesis means?
There'll be a few more moments like this. The commotion was a travelling salesman, selling mystical artefacts. Some seem a bit more dubious than others.
Very wise. Now, just remember, the magic only works if you look at it in complete darkness.
Rose seems to not believe in magic, and a blind gypsy voiced by another recognisable witch calls out the state of the world that children no longer believe in magic.
We live in grim times indeed.
After weighing up the odds of a magical wishing box potentially working, or wasting enough gold to feed us for the week, we decide to go and collect 5 gold pieces to buy said magic box. This serves as our tutorial for general questing and morality in the game. There's several different trackers on your character, reflecting the choices throughout the game. Most quests have a good or evil way to resolve them, and some options will rarely result in permanent consequences. A later quest can have you slaughtering the villagers of a certain town, and after the next time skip, the temple there no longer functions. I really like Fable's morality system. Most of the choices are clear cut, but sometimes dipping into various layers of grey, and you can progress through the game choosing all the evil options you like, but it doesn't lock you into any specific ending of the game. Good people can make bad choices, bad people can be redeemed by good choices, and sure, if you go around raiding and pillaging, the populace might think you're awful. But the game lets you offset your evil deeds by being suitably good looking, rich, or being tactful with your good choices, and almost getting away with it in the court of public opinion. It's the most realistic morality system I've seen. Likewise, I mentioned the different trackers on you. Each villager will regard you with various spectrums of purity and corruption, funny or scary, love and hate, and how they view your wealthiness. Equally, there's a few physical trackers, how strong your character is, how much you dip into magic, how many scars you accrue from being knocked out in combat. It makes your character look completely different depending on how you spec out. It's such a widely modular system that your character will look different and your experience will vary player to player, both in-game and just interacting with the populace. That was a long paragraph, let's just see how the kids are collecting their gold. We have a few different quests to start. We can reclaim a drunk's bottle of wine from a homeless man and either give it back to the drunk or give it to his wife to help him quit. We could choose to clear the beetles out of Balthazar's warehouse or follow Bricktop's advice to help a crime syndicate extort the man by smashing his stock. We could even help James Corden deliver a love letter or drop it in the hands of the girl's mother who doesn't approve of him.
You again? I don't want you sniffing around my daughter.
I was quite evil in most of my choices. The drunk got his bottle, the stock got smashed, but I did give the love letter to the girl instead of the mother. When I collected all the warrants, I chose to give them to Bricktop rather than hand them over to the guards. And as a result of that quest specifically, crime began to flourish in the old town later on, as we'll see. We buy the music box and overlook the castle as we make our wish. Well, Rose makes a wish, we don't speak. The box disappears and it looks like we've lost our gold for nothing.
But where did it go? Why are we still here?
We go to sleep in our slum and a dog we'd saved earlier sleeps with us. When all seems wasted, we're woken up in the middle of the night. One of Lord Lucian's guards wakes us and we've been summoned to the castle where he's been specifically requesting us. It seems the magic box did work after all. Our hopeful little slum rats head to the castle and are led in by the butler Jeeves. It turns out Lucian has been locking himself away after his wife and child had been killed. There's no real details on what happened there. Looks like there's a vacancy for some more children, it seems. Lucian, while locked away, has been researching the Old Kingdom. Between the events of Fable 1 and 2, there was a cataclysmic event, hence why it's perfectly fine to start on this game without any spoilers for the previous. If you'd like me to cover Fable 1, let me know in the comments. Lucian welcomes us in.
Children, it's come to my attention that you have some sort of magic box. May I see it?
Turns out he's after our magic box. Rose tells him how it disappeared after we made our wish, and he calls it remarkable that we were even able to use the box, asking what our wish was. He then tells us to step into a magical circle, and it reveals we have the blood of heroes. Heroes in this setting are mystical warriors with an incredible aptitude for either strength, skill, or will. A lineage thought lost really after their fall around 500 years ago. Lucian touches the ring and reading from some prophetic scrolls he reveals there are 3 heroes that may stop whatever it is he's actually scheming at, and either one of us could be a mystical 4th hero. Rose gets the point blank treatment and we're soon to follow, plummeting. Death, however, isn't our destiny, and so the fortune teller takes us. Lucian disappears thinking he's gotten rid of his nemesis, and we're led to live with the gypsies, restoring our strength and being mothered by Teresa for the next 10 years until we eventually become strong and grow up. We'll get revenge on Lucian and save the world from whatever he plans. As an adult, we're free to set out on our journey. Teresa has given us some gear, and the dog from our youth will now be our companion for the rest of the game. With our rusty sword and crossbow, we head to the Chamber of Fate in the middle of Bower Lake. We pop a hero's seal in the door that Teresa gave us, and we enter with her giving some vocal exposition.
Don't be alarmed. I'm speaking to you through the guild seal. You will need to jump into that hole to continue. Don't worry. The water at the bottom will break your fall.
We do a bit of a beetle clear out and find our way into the ruins of the old Heroes Guild, and with it, our hero's blood awakens.
Their veins. Once worshipped by the people of Albion, the great heroes came to be feared and hated. Your blood is awakening.
Teresa tells us about the 3 disciplines of strength, skill, and will, basically swords, ranged, and magic. We'll collect XP in each category and general XP that can be spent across all 3, spending it for the first time on one of many various spells, the ability to shock. We activate a teleporter and arrive on top of Bower Lake. Magic in this game seems to be the way forward. It doesn't require any external equipment and can do AoE damage. Feels a bit cheaty later on. Teresa wants to meet us at Bowerstone, the capital city, to advance our quest, and it looks like we're going to be returning home. We're still on rails at this point, but we'll be coming off them soon.
Apologies, citizen. The road to Bowerstone is closed due to the bandit activity. I'm afraid that as long as the bandit Thag is alive, the road stays closed.
A bandit nearby has caused enough mayhem to cause a gate to be locked up going into Bowerstone. Like many games of this sort of parody genre, we'll have to take out some bandits to advance to the first town, entering the rather unfortunately named Bandits Camp. We spring an ambush and the bandits drop down like the merry men from Shrek. The Mook Bandits aren't a problem, but Fag, well, he makes a nasty entrance.
No one defies Thag the Impatient. I'll gut you myself. I'll give you 3 seconds to get ready. No, wait, 2. Oh, sod it.
Without any combat abilities, we just need to whittle him down. There's a whole slew of melee abilities and upgrades to our magic, but right now we're going to be spamming X essentially. When we cut him down, we open the gate and unlock some loot in his house. You can actually purchase his house if you want. There's a whole real estate system. You could buy houses, kit them out in furniture, even rent them out to receive substantial passive income. Now there were people locked up here, slaves that had been purchased. We can choose to save them or take a bribe from the man who bought them. I took the grey option. Well, arguably it's the extra good one. I freed the slaves and then chose to strike down the owner, taking the bribe off his body. It was good quest design that I could do there. We then pick back up in Bowerstone where the rails open up a little bit, meeting Roland, the rather dull bard, as we enter. We'll see him around in every city basically.
And that's the song I'm working on. It's my first one. I'm just starting out. Listen to this. A hero went to Bower Lake and gave the Thag a bellyache.
Each individual villager we see here can be interacted with and influenced. They all have different tracks relating to us if you look at them. Roland gives us a little tour. Bowerstone has all you'd expect from a capital city. Stores of various types, stalls, an inn, a couple of districts. Roland laments on. Teresa is going to be delayed and asks us to go and buy some upgrades. Alongside being a demi-godlike hero, we can also work regular desk jobs to get coin through a variety of minigames. Here's me smithing. 5 smacks makes 1 sword, and the more I make in a row, the more coins I'll get. The meta for life in Albion is to raise funds by rinsing one of the various jobs, buy property and then rent it out to get passive income as you play. This will accrue even if you don't play, making it an almost immersive MMO type RPG. As you log in, enough time will have passed and you'll just get a fat lump sum. You can even choose to lower or raise rent depending on your morals, become the land leech, suckle the blood of the commoners, or lower their rent and they'll love you. Eventually, Teresa will come, though I did get a bit lost doing some smithing off camera. It hooked me back to a time before Subway Surfers or mud hut construction. She comments on how we dealt with Fag and then tells us where Lucian is now, the tattered spire, originally built to be a conduit for all the magic in the world, that the ruler of the kingdom could bend reality to his will. The first wish granted using this tower wiped out a large chunk of Albion years ago. Lucian is restoring the spire for his own uses, but found a prophecy of one hero who will come to stop him using it. We know that part, we got shot out of a window for it. Teresa gives us a deck of tarot cards that reveal minor prophecies about the game to come, and tells us we'll need to find 3 other heroes, one of strength, one of skill, and you guessed it, one of will.
The Pilgrim. This hero has great spirit and awesome strength, but it is not yet unleashed. The Pilgrim's path is to the north.
We're trying to do this before Lucian can find them and catch them. Our search will begin in Oakfield, but you're free to go on a proper explore at this point. Quests will open up at various junctures in the game to be dealt with, side jobs and minigames too. The first of which distraction I found was the side job for the Assassination Society. A man in an alley gave us a contract and we're to go wherever the contract says, or more accurately, whoever the contract says, and kill them. Sometimes they may have guards, other times it's just flirt with them for a bit and lead them somewhere without prying eyes. Murder is a crime here. There's a tapestry of these little tasks and side jobs that you can spend hours away from the main game plot doing. That contract was worth 900 gold, which is honestly pennies later in the game, but a nice chunk at this point. To get to Oakfield and our first hero, we need to take a really roundabout path, heading through the bandit-infested Rook Ridge, and dropping down a blown bridge, again thanks to the bandits, and discovering the goblins of this setting as we enter a hob cave. For whatever reason, a concerned father is here whose child has ran into this hob cave. How he got down to our side entrance, I'll never know. Hobs are funny looking things. We fight through a few tons of them, some with clubs, others with guns, and there's even magical hobs. The kicker is when we find Herman's child, who's now turned into a hob. We may well have just been fighting for a child army here, folks. When we get out the other side, we're able to send the bandits over the bridge they blew and keep heading forward. Rookridge is abandoned, no doubt given to all the bandits, but once we're through the other side of it, we can find our way into Oakfield, a stark contrast palette-wise as we enter.
Didn't expect to see a new face today.
Oakfield is named such due to a golden oak that keeps the area verdant and green, home to many farmers and the Temple of Light. The golden oak that keeps the ground fertile lives for a few decades, then drops a single golden acorn, which the monks here ritualistically replant and water with holy water from a special wellspring. Going to the Temple of Light, it's clear this ritual has come about again. The hero we're after has some involvement here, but to actually get in with the abbot, we need to raise our renown. After all, nobody's heard of us. You gain renown from doing certain quests, paying the bard to share your exploits, showing off trophies from previous quests, or paying for statues of yourself to be set up. The quick option here is to do some side questing. We find a literal cameraman from our youth, the entrepreneur Barnum, who wants us to clear out the bandits in Rookridge. Turns out he'd bought the bridge there to turn it into a toll bridge, hence why someone blew it up. We fight through to the inn at Rookridge, take out the bandits, deal with their incredibly fast leader Dash, who herds us through a variety of ambushes, and then with Dash gone, we can use the bridge again and head back to Bowerstone if we choose. This quest netted us a lot of renown, but there's still 100 short, so we need to do a bit more jiggery pokery. Fun, not evil things like assassinations, posing for a sculptor, joining a cult at the Temple of Shadows by, well...
Ah, excellent. You have to swallow every last bit, you know. The feathers, the bones, the beak. Oh, excuse me, please.
We'll top up our renown with the most potentially evil side quest I've ever seen. A ghost here who'd flung himself off a cliff after he was jilted at the altar wants us to find his old fiancée, make her fall in love with us, and then give her a note saying that we hate her and it was all a joke. I head to Bowerstone Market to woo said lady. She actually seems fairly nice. We spend a while dancing in the tavern. She reveals why she never got married.
I almost got married once before. He was a sweet boy, but we were both so young. Too young. I got scared and ran away the day of the wedding. I hurt him so badly. He took his own life.
Because I'm an evil sod, instead of forgiving her, I give her the note.
I don't understand. It was all a trick? No, it can't be true. It can't be true! No!
A quest is a quest after all, and she goes running off. Don't worry though, karma does go both ways. Returning to the ghost who sent me on the quest, Alex is there ready to give things another chance after the two talk. But then she spots us and knows something funny's afoot. She smells a rat, and now there's two heartbroken ghosts and a D-list celebrity hero. Well, I guess karma went one way, but we'll head back to the Temple of Light to cleanse our souls. The abbot takes us for a walk, telling us more about the ritual. The golden acorn is nourished with holy water kept in a sacred, dangerous cave. 2 monks normally go in, the strongest one and one of the abbot's choosing. The strongest monk is his own child, so he's especially concerned, and chooses us to be the second person to go in, rather than another monk. The hero we're after must be the hero of strength, and I'm expecting an Arnold, Sylvester, Eddie Hall combination here. But when we get there, we meet Sister Hannah, and well, she is an absolute unit to give her credit. Incredibly friendly too, as she talks to our pooch. Hannah, or Hammer as some people call her, took a solemn vow to be non-violent, which Teresa tells us will be a problem later on. We'll have to protect her down here and hopefully figure out a way to get her to break her vow. As evil as that sounds, we walk through the statue-studded caverns, seeing the souls of dead protectors floating above a big antechamber in the caves. The first stopping point, we help Hammer fill up her jug a third of the way. Nothing so far has come to attack us, though when we leave, we encounter the Hollow Man. Essentially zombies, but with a fun grasp of weapons. We have to protect Hammer now, not only as we go to different springs, but when we're walking between them. Magic is honestly the busted option here. Right as we go to bless the water, another monk runs in and tells us that one of Lucian's men has come, and he's pointing a gun at the abbot. Hammer literally rips a hammer from a nearby statue, awesome, and we rush to the Temple of Light, running in to see the abbot shot, and Hammer breaking her vow to attack his assailant. There's a fun funeral service, and Hammer leaves the order swearing vengeance. Something exceptionally fun is you can dance here, and the monks try their hardest not to laugh at you.
I never did fit in at this place. We both knew that. And now I'm making a new vow. Lucian will die for what he did to you. I won't break this one.
Sister Hannah.
After ruining her father's funeral, Hammer lacks guidance, and Teresa comes and takes her back to the ruins of the Heroes Guild. So far we've one of 3 heroes, and a bit of free time to go and mill about, upgrade things. I got really busy.
Down on your luck, are you? Well, none of you these dear.
Working next to the wheel used to put me off too, but not anymore. Still can't touch black puddings, though.
Our next hero is the hero of Will. There's less hoops to jump through this time, simply heading to Brightwood Tower, ironically when it's a dark wood, then seeing Lucian had the same idea as us and is sending his forces en masse to the tower, home of the mage Garth. Spire guards are either quite tanky or I was using a child short sword at the time. Either way, it's a bit of a slog fighting our way up to the top of the tower. We eventually see Lucian's commandant kidnapping Garth and us being launched back to square one.
You are coming with me.
I thought about getting a day job and knocking this hero business on the head, but Teresa had a better idea. Lucian fled to the spire and left his butler Jeeves behind. His butler, well, might have some information we've not had access to. He takes our bribe and tells us to go and find Lucian's diary in a spot where he's buried it. A spot guarded by a giant boss troll that you need to rinse with ranged attacks, something I'd neglected to level at this point in the game. We do get the diary eventually, and it's translated by Teresa. Despite her being blind, we're told that Lucian is recruiting his spire guards from Westcliff, a rough area only known for its coliseum called the Crucible. If we can get there and become the Crucible's next champion, we can sneak into the spire as a fully employed guard. We've not actually got enough juice to teleport to Westcliff, so we have to make a bit of a trek over there with Hammer. I say a bit of a trek. We cross through the Bandit Coast, which you'll never guess the denizens of. Hammer providing a bit of support. I'm going to gloss over a lot of the combat here, as we eventually come to an enemy that frightened my childhood friends. Hammer states the place we're walking through is infested with Balverines. What is a Balverine?
Broke out of the cage and ripped every single one to shreds. There's one of the bloody things right there.
Well, they're a step up in combat, that's what they are. A bit of a handful if you haven't unlocked flourishes for your melee or higher tier spells. We actually save a woman named Lilith from these Balverines. They'd killed her partner and kidnapped her son, no doubt to create another wolfling. Entering the Howling Halls, we're in a pseudo-horror section, seeing the wolves moving around in the background. Lilith pretty much immediately double crosses us too.
Children,
I bring you.
Actually being a white Balverine in disguise. Take her and her brood out, let Hammer do the heavy lifting, cheers lass, and we can pop out to the backside of Westcliff, a step closer to the Crucible we're meant to fight in. Westcliff's a bit rough and ready, looking more like a bandit camp. The folk here are just as rugged, some bandit types starting on us pretty much as soon as we enter. Our old friend Barnum can help us clear up Westcliff if we give him 5k. He's gotten into the Temple of Business and Yodeling and wants to turn Westcliff into a family-friendly holiday park. I actually don't have the funds to help him this side of the Crucible, but I will pay him later. The Crucible is manned by Jay's dad from the Inbetweeners.
Look, Murray, another pair of nobodies trying to get into the Crucible.
And a rather posh Alan Murray forming twin commentators. We hit another renown gate to get inside though, and have a bit of a laugh about Mad Dog's name.
Bit redundant, isn't it?
What? What do you mean?
Well, why do you need the strangler part if you're already a mad dog?
Well, it's intimidating, innit?
Because we only need like 80 rep to get through, I just flashed my trophies to the citizens here a few times, the boost to my fame getting me on their radar, and we enter the Crucible. There's a few suppliers, but we're too broke to get anything from, having spent our money elsewhere, and a few interesting competitors waiting in line to enter. Zachary the silver-tongued mage and Gorgoron being standout ones. When a worker tries to move everyone along, the other competitors get cold feet with some rather silly excuses.
Well,
I can't possibly go on next. My, crossbow's got an awful cold.
Do not look at Gorgoron. Gorgoron has an ingrowing toenail right now, an evil toenail.
As the new guy, we go in. The Crucible consists of 8 rooms, each scored by 2 different metrics: crowd entertainment and how fast you kill everything. 3 rounds per room, with members of the crowd throwing gold and other supplies down, and if we get a record time on 5 rooms, we'll get a fat payout, all while the commentators give colourful commentary. I found the best strat for literally every room here was to sit in the middle and full charge my magic so that AoE would do the heavy lifting for me. The rounds get increasingly more difficult, starting with beetles, then getting tougher with hobs and adding traps into the room, and the whole thing ends on a troll-hob combo fight. The reward was a good 5k gold, plus around 5k in audience gifts. We're ready to return to Westcliff and receive a hero's welcome.
That was fantastic. I listened to the commentaries every step of the way. I even got in to see a few rounds. That one with the hobs, bloody brilliant.
Teresa tells us a time skip is imminent, so we need to tie up any loose ends or we may lose them. As such, I polish up my quest log. I donate 5k to Barnum to gentrify Westcliff, engage in a shooting contest with some hammy aiming controls, ironically one of the quests the time skip doesn't touch. And things get really evil when I decide to help the Temple of Shadows with a certain Temple of Light problem.
I have long dreamt of this day.
You know, when a quest is called the Oakfield Massacre, it's probably going to be memorable. 2 members of the Church of Shadows have barricaded the exits out of Oakfield, and well, I can't exactly claim I've been playing it neutral here. I mask up, safety mode goes off, and the village is picked off 1 villager by 1 villager. The guards here are seemingly trained the same as the ones in Demolition Man, so they hold no real resistance.
We're police officers. We're not trained to handle this kind of violence.
I normally play a goody 2-shoes in these sort of games, but it's crazy how actually evil Fable lets you be. I know for a fact too I'm going to go off after this and go do some generic hero stuff, and no witness is going to claim I'm anything but a hero. Dark, dark times in Albion. It's at this point I start wearing a mask as my character's skin has gone all pallid and corpse-like, reflecting just how evil I am. If I'd been picking all the good options, I'd probably look angelic by this point. There's even little horns sprouting out from under my hat. After polishing the rest of the quests, I head to the Spire, having to leave all my personal artifacts behind, and worse still, my trusty Pooch, who's been there from the start, helping me in combat, exploration, and just generally being a good doggo.
Right, no personal effects allowed on board, and no weapons, and no dogs.
Hammer waves us off. Then we're in an animated cutscene as our ship sails across to the tattered spire, the place looking almost alien compared to the normal architecture of Albion. We arrive with a day 1 popping up on our screen as a bunch of us move towards the spire, the most vocal of which is Bob, who dotes on about his wife and seems nice enough.
I've been with my Lil 13 years, been faithful the whole time. If you could see her, you'd understand why. Name's Bob, by the way.
There's a noise that you can physically feel. The place is deemed as feeling wrong. Lucian himself is here to greet us, though he doesn't recognise the player as the hero he shot. He's waging war on chaos, wanting to bring about some new world order to remake the world with his power of the Spire. Weirdly enough, he commands us all to sleep, and well...
Now, sleep.
We skip to week 1, having a change of clothes and a haircut. God, I look monstrous after all the evil doing. We're in a rather awful barracks, and our role here is keeping the slaves moving and doing what we're told. We're wearing a collar to guarantee our subservience, and we catch up with Bob on guard duty, again still doting on about his wife.
Can you believe they put me on guard duty? On my first day too? I must have impressed someone. Oh, if Lil could see me now. She's always loved the bloke in uniform.
He's guarding prisoners behind magical cells, and Garth, the hero of Will, seems to be one of them, communicating with us telepathically and telling us to bide our time. Reporting to the Commandant who had snatched Garth, he informs us of his plans of breaking us in, moulding us into another link of Lucian's chain. He tells us we'll do everything he says without question. Failing that, he's going to drain our XP. Of course, I'm role-playing one stubborn pony who loves a little bit of pain.
Thank me for your pain. Obey.
No. No obeying here.
Obey. Thank the Commandant, or you shall suffer.
He gives up eventually, and we skip to week 38. The saddest part here is that Bob has started to forget his wife he loves so much thanks to whatever conditioning he's been subjected to. Makes me feel a bit sick, actually. We of course rebel at every turn. I like being evil, but I hate being forced to on someone else's behalf. We feed prisoners as a prime example of this. On week 137, Bob has unfortunately had a run-in with the Commandant, his mind broken. I spare Bob, though I imagine the Commandant just kills him later, and then we see the years pass by while we're stuck under cover. Lucian's out of reach, Garth is still locked up, and the Commandant has friends who arrive just as bad as he is. After an unknown number of years, the spire is shot up massively, nearing being fully complete, and we're asked to go to the Commandant again. Turns out a guard's gone missing and we need to find him. But at this place, we just find Garth, who had broken out, expending much of his willpower to do so. Our only path now is to fight through the spire guards and protect Garth as we bust our way out. Eventually, we make it to a boat to Oakfield, being reunited with an old friend after far too long.
Another friend of yours?
Teresa greets Garth, and it turns out it's been a whole 10 years we've been stuck at the spire. She heads off, and we've a bit of time to see how things have changed. Westcliff, for example, now a family resort thanks to Barnum. I make sure to grab our investment from him with interest. Time in the barracks had me feeling all rattlesnakey, so we propose to a local lady of the night and move into a holiday caravan, even getting a cutesy cutscene, but more importantly, a fat dowry payment with it.
Some say they were a strange couple, others that they saw a story of true love. Only time would tell.
Kathy is now Mrs. Hero, and hopefully she's retired from her evening shifts. I give the Crucible another spin, then head to Rookridge, where the inn has actually got an owner now, and Hammer's sat waiting. We catch up without any actual words from us, and then we get told to go do some quests while we wait for Teresa. There's a variety of fun side quests in the game, and they all get a clean sweep in this playthrough. Many come from really wild angles. Farmer Giles, for instance, wants help getting his son a wife, but Rupert doesn't like women, and he hasn't told his father. You can head to Bowerstone and either ignore his wishes, getting him a female date, or help him come out to Daddy Dearest in a rather touching moment for a side quest.
No, I mean, the way you ran out on Sonia, and there was me thinking she didn't fancy you.
Are you kidding? She was all over me. I had to fight her off with a rake.
I had heard she was a bit forward. That's why I set you up with her.
For every war crime you can commit in this game, there's another quest where you can help someone. And in most of these quests, you can lean either way. It's an exceptionally immersive RPG. When we do eventually go back to Teresa, we're 2 heroes down, and we just need our third to stop Lucian's plan. The hero of skill is a pirate mare called Reaver, allegedly so good with a pistol, he could sink galleons with a single shot. Of course, he's more on our side of the moral persuasion, and it's quite nice looking back that our 3 heroes form a nice gradient of lawful good to chaotic evil. To get to Reaver, we'll need to climb Garth's tower again. The place is swarming with spire guards, and even some of those magical spire constructs, presumably trying to recapture the man. We fight our way up in suitable hack and slash style, my young hero now a mountain of muscle due to steady infusions of strength XP. We defend Garth as he charges up a Cullis Gate by spamming lightning spells and just praying for his safety, eventually popping out at Wraithmarsh, the gate exploding behind us and knocking us down.
Can you hear me?
An old moonlight toucher called Old Greg
Hello, Greg. Pleased to meet you.
helpfully escorts us to some lodging, not knowing where we're from, saying he wants to just burn us and get rid. But a banshee gets to him first. Scream warning. And then our faithful doggo manages to get us the key to the cage from his body. Wraithmarsh is an eerie haunted swamp, the grounds once being the village of Oakvale from Fable I 600 years past. As of any shady marsh, you can expect all sorts of creatures that bump in the night. Hollowmen, Balverines, and even banshees which summon little ghost children straight out of New Londo to stab us. They're exceptionally cool looking, but much easier to deal with rather than the trolls we're used to seeing health bars for. There is another one of those trolls skulking around here too though. Eventually, we do push out of the fog into Bloodstone, my favourite township in Fable II. I don't know how many of you play D&D, but I imagine a fair few of you are familiar with RPGs in general, and nothing in my mind is ever cooler than a pirate town, full of cutthroats, teeming with stories. Every street corner has a lady on it, every citizen takes the piss out of me for wearing noble attire. It was the most memorable moment for me, even years later. I don't know if you feel the same. At the head of this town is Reaver and his mansion, and when we head in, we can see just what a pirate king looks like, and sounds like.
Hello there. Always a nice surprise to have company. I don't get many visitors to my little coastal paradise.
That is Stephen Fry, and he's just as saucy in the game as he is in QI. Reaver's posing as a statue of him is being carved, and he knows we're looking for him. Unfortunately, he's a bit of a prima donna and will only talk with us if we're famous enough, and we've got another renown gate on our hands. I'll spare you the details of all the quests we go on. One, we fight our way through a ghostly pirate crew to get details of a treasure map, reminding me of RuneScape there and just being worthwhile money-wise as it is renown-wise. I help a gravekeeper called Victor find the body parts of a deceased witch along several different tombs in the land. Though when we Frankenstein her together, the love spell that was meant to compel her to fall in love with Victor triggers on us.
You brought me back. You are magnificent.
Well, you know, actually, it was me who...
I have been asleep so long, but now I am ready to live again, and to love for the first time. You are so perfect.
And instead of leaving Victor with Lady Grey, we decide to be a bit evil and get ourselves a magical zombie bride, who somehow bears us a child. We'll keep that a secret from Kathy, who's also born as a child by this point. Yes, there's children in this game too. It's like a rough and tumble game of The Sims. Of course, someone sends a letter to Kathy that we open, extorting us for being a bigamist, and when I refuse to pay the bribe, Kathy and our child disappear into the annals of history. I suppose we all love trash that takes itself out. God, I felt evil saying that. We're a bad man. We clear our mind with a new religion in Bloodstone, meeting the Toby that charmed Barnum way back when, having to recover a few holy relics for his religion that just turn out to be a shopping list of his as we rob the denizens of the town.
Wonderful. You have retrieved the mutton of eternal hope. You are a deserving member of TOBY. It is time I told you the reason for this city's chaotic state.
After delivering him another Lady of the Night and preparing his roast dinner, we eventually cotton on and take Toby out. With that, we have enough renown to go and see Reaver again. Turns out, Reaver has a quest of his own for us, asking us to deliver a special seal to the Shadow Court of Wraithmarsh. Doesn't sound ominous at all. This leads us into a long ramble through the swamp until we encounter the Shadow Court, literal shadow creatures. Reaver had sent us down here to steal our youth for himself, but because we're a literal monster human, we instead give the seal to a young woman lost here and steal her youth for him.
What happened to me? No!
We need our strength to pose in village squares, so let's not do that. Heading back to Reaver, he has no apologies for us. He shoots our lovable cameraman, and it seems he wanted to weaken us first so that Lucian's men could take us to the Spire. But Lucian's not a nice guy either, and was planning just to capture both heroes while he had them here.
By a bloody army! Lucian's men! Dozens of the buggers! And the guy in charge is yelling at his men, "Find this Reaver!"
Me? Lucian and I had a gentleman's agreement. How dare he betray me?
Stuck between a rock and a hard place, we enter Reaver's rear passage. It's actually just an escape tunnel that gets breached by Spire guards, and the two of us have to fight our way out. I will say Reaver is exceptionally good with a pistol, being my favourite party member. We eventually make it to the coast, and all of the heroes are here, Reaver just wanting to leave until a great shard construct forms a boss fight here, summoning in enemies until Garth can find its weak spot. Direct magical assault when it opens up its head. With all the enemies dispatched, Teresa tells Reaver if he doesn't come with us, he'll be unable to fulfill his little youth scam with the Shadow Core, so it's best he stick along for the immediate. We all head above the old guild to some giant runic apparatus, and powerful bolts fly between all the heroes, seemingly infusing us with their power as some secret weapon against Lucian. After saying the devil's name, he appears and we're still stuck behind a rune. He gives us a super evil monologue, calling himself hasty for not killing us earlier, telling us how he killed our zombie bride and our child, purely optional bit of dialogue as he tells us he did it all himself.
But this time is different. The last of the heroic blood will flow out onto this hilltop, just as it now spatters the walls of your family home. Your wife and child are dead.
He goes to shoot us and... Oh god! I thought we were evil, but this guy will pay. He pops us, and despite death not being our destiny, we awaken as a child, seemingly in some sort of coma, hallucinating a perfect world where Rose, our sister, is still alive. We live on a farm with mythical living parents and distract ourselves with kicking chickens and shooting bottles off fences. Eventually it turns to night and we run from the dream, entering some hellscape backed only by the sound of wish-granting music boxes and the demonic utterances of something around. Under the moonlight, we grab the box again. Apparently it was all a test from the box and we're given a reward.
You have passed the test. Your rewards are the opportunity to confront your enemy and the means to destroy him.
We head to the Tattered Spire. After watching John Wick, we know what we need to do. This man killed our family, our dog, made 2 attempts on our life, and threatens the whole world with a spire. We encounter no resistance as we enter, and see him draining the heroes. But when he tries to make us sleep, we just pull out the music box. He's not impressed, but the box seems to stop whatever spell he's casting here. He begins to monologue again about how powerful he is, how powerful the spire is.
You're merely delaying the inevitable. All that you've struggled for will be crushed under the majesty of the spire. Why must you eat?
And so I pop him before he can finish. Lucian's dead, but we have the opportunity to use the spire to grant one wish for ourselves. We have 3 choices here as Teresa takes the reins. She lays out our 3 options. Save all the civilians who died while the spire was being built, resurrect our family and our dog, or just get a fat stack of gold at the cost of everyone who died. I had to choose the dog here, seemingly neutral compared to the other options. The spire sparks itself to life and it becomes clear the other heroes heard the exchange as well. Reva doesn't really care, Hammer's a bit miffed we didn't bring back the thousands who died, and Garth sits on the fence, as Garth does. Garth and Reva head to Garth's homeland on another island. Hammer goes north to study with warrior monks, giving up violence once more, and we all say our goodbyes. Teresa then tells us the world is ours to enjoy, breaking the 4th wall somewhat, as there's this whole open world out there we can still mess around with. We'd finish the main quest sure, but there's a ton of things ready to roll with afterward. Demon doors to find and unlock by walking up to them and solving their cryptic riddles, gargoyles to shoot hidden around the whole map, plenty of gold to be made as you buy up every single bit of property and become a money machine from renting out everything with a roof on it. If we buy Garth's Tower, we can have a jaunt through a little nightmare dungeon chasing after a chest. If we get a ludicrous amount of money, we can even buy Fairfax Castle, and that took me days of real life time. Sure, it gets attacked when you buy it, but there's still more secrets out there in the world after the fact. For now, we rest.
I'm sorry to inconvenience you, sir, but the castle appears to be under attack.
And that's the story of Fable II. The real story is not just about stopping Lucian and saving the world, it's the friends we made along the way. No, seriously, whether you play as a saint, a monster, or some amorphous grey blob, Albion and its people always reflect your decisions. The towns change, people remember your previous actions, and even your own baby-faced Sparrow can end up looking demonic if you push things too far. The world feels lived in, breathing, and responsive to pretty much everything you do. The game's meta plot, reflecting 4 heroes stopping an evil king from harnessing a wish engine to remake the world, with the final decision at the spire, sacrifice, love or wealth, only having one real correct answer. But Fable 2 doesn't really end there. Albion remains alive long after Lucian's fall, with secrets to uncover, property to own, families to build or abandon, and an entire world to bend to your will, Overlord style. Or there's a temple you can chuck pennies at to farm good karma. That's why Fable II is so epic. It's not only the story of Sparrow's journey, but it really pulls in the player. It's your journey, your morality, your legacy, and, well, your Albion. I've yet to find a game that made me feel more immersed as the main character than this one. It still holds up amazingly in 2025, and we can just ignore the sequel for now. What did you think of Fable? Did you have any fond memories watching this? What should I cover next? Let me know. Over and out, Smooth Brains.
What? Go away! I'm busy! I won't ask you again. Get lost! Look, I said... Oh, it's you. I'm not quite finished here. Why don't you go and find, let me see. What else do I want?